So I know a week or so ago we went over the Breadcutter choke and using the Breadcutter as a position to get motivation to move somebody. And to be honest with you, you're gonna find and see things as you go through your journey in jiu-jitsu. I know that journey in jiu-jitsu is a cliche thing to say, but as you continue learning, you're gonna find and see people that do things different in different places. And some things are just so simple that you go, why did I not do that? I was doing this and I thought I was doing it the right way, and I was doing it a right way, but there's an easier, simpler way to do things a lot of the time. And so when we were doing the Breadcutter choke, and this will be a refresher, so we're here, right? And we were maybe motivating CJ to move or whatever, maybe he's just like not doing it. That's fine. I say, you know what, I'm gonna move because this isn't helping. I'm gonna transition. I'm gonna set up the Breadcutter choke. Remember, we gotta get our first grip, which you get for me, at the back of this collar, right? We gotta get this. How you get it? You get it in transition, as long as you just recognize that you have it, right? A good step-by-step way of getting it is we're gonna switch over. We're gonna come here. We're gonna take this arm as we shift down and we push his head to the side. This hand's not gonna stay here. If he leaves his hand there, he's gonna get, you know, he's just gonna sit there and be smashed. People are gonna, they see this freedom that you give them and they get this arm out. That's when we take this hand, we grab the back of his collar, then we come back. Now, the way we taught it last week was we get our thumb in on this side, loop our arm over, and get this choke. Now, where do we end up? We end up over here, right? And as we loop our arm over or come over, there's opportunity there for what? For his hand to reach up and grab my elbow, to make space, and to do this. Him to lift his hips, all that. But what if we took this whole step out of it and we came in like this? We hug his shoulder, we hug his arm, and we put this up against his neck. We've got him anchored, and we're here. If CJ stays here, then what's gonna happen is we're gonna advance and choke, and here's how we do it. We simply take this hand that we're pressing up against his neck, we reach over and grab. We lift the elbow, make the angle, right? Now, is that first way wrong? No, it'll work. As a matter of fact, I feel like when I do it the first way, my thumb can get deeper in here, so that when I come over, and I don't necessarily bring my elbow this high, that's the grinding portion of this choke is I keep my chest heavy and I'll bring it over here, and it's already, as soon as I pinch my fist, I'm already making the choking happen, right? Or squeeze my knuckles in my hand. Boom, it's very deep. This variation of the finish is when you know he's done this before, or he knows this choke. And let's say I get here, and he puts his head up, he lifts his hand up, he's like putting his hand to defend, whatever, yeah. And I feel like I'm gonna lose, whatever the case. I'll take this and circle it around, and I'll block it on his neck here. If you have the grip here available, right, then you just slide your thumb in, grab it, come down heavy, sliding your pressure in, bring it up. Notice I use my body weight to bring it up, okay? Now, this stays here. If you can pull it with your wrist a little bit, it might help you some, but it doesn't have to, it stays here. The choke comes from getting this grip, putting your weight in behind it. One thing you can do is look down towards his hips a little, start sliding everything up. And I didn't even have the full grip on this. So, with this variation, you're avoiding all of that looping action. Is it wrong? No, it's just different. Another thing you can do is here, I'm blocking it. Let's say his lapel is far from me. What's CJ's options? Is he gonna roll away from me? Can you roll away from me, CJ? What did he do? Roll away, and then he rolled towards me, right? So if he tries to roll up towards me to get out of this, he brings the collar to me, I grab it. So my hand is ready. So what I wanna do is take some time. This will be a quick class. We've done the Breadcutter before. Work that Breadcutter again, get used to it again. Getting that hand underneath, getting that grip, then coming around. But this time, I want you to work this variation. Boom, I saw it, Jean-Jacques Machado was doing it. Did you see it?
No, but one-handed, you know.
He's got 3 fingers on one hand and he's a world champion.
Yeah.
He's an amazing instructor. Eddie Bravo's teacher. Let's put it that way.
Joe Rogan's teaching.
Yeah. Jean Chapachai has 3 fingers on one hand and will collar choke you like he's got 12 on one hand. And it's amazing. The guy's beat all the odds, world champ. So, but his jiu-jitsu is smooth. And I saw that and I thought, you know what? I felt personally like I've cheated these guys out of a part of this move. I feel like it's so much better to do that. I saw that and I went, stupid, first of all. I was like, how is it that easy? You just put your arm there and do this? But what about the loop? And what about all the other stuff that I know how to do because that's how I learned it, you know? Hey, let's always get better, you know what I mean? I'm not mad at them, I'm mad at me for not knowing. So, you don't know what you don't know, learn it and give it a shot. So what we're gonna do on 3 is get with our partners and we're gonna go over this. Let's practice getting there and bringing it over and see how that feels. Training partners give feedback. Hey, that's tight, oh, that's there, oh yeah. Get in there, loop it over, elbow to the mat, slide it up if you need to. Then practice, they block it, or you just come in with that forearm against the neck. If you can grab the lapel, grab it. If they lean up into you, grab it, and then you start to put your body weight in. And try to let your chest and body weight slide forward to create the pressure. And then, if they still have it tapped, start bringing that elbow up a little bit. All right? Always good feedback.
Can I see how you just like end up there? Like how you got the
arm under?
Yeah.
So, there, if you're in a scramble, let's say I'm doing all this stuff, CJ's moving around, right? And I need to end up with one of my hands under his collar, like that, right? Without him knowing that I have that. And it's usually the same side that I'm on, I gotta get my hand underneath. More often than not, you'll come in here, and this is where you can really set it up easily without really identifying it. Now the problem is, his right arm is on the same side of my body, on this side, right? I have to get that arm on the other side or he blocks it. It has to be over here when I'm done. But we're here. We've all been here. We can get in this position. I can slide up. I can act like I'm gonna go for this Kimura. And as he comes out, I can trap this arm. Does that feel like that arm's in danger at all?
No.
No? Then yes, he got it out. Now where did we end up? Right in the position we wanted. Let me get my belt out. There we go. I'll drop this hip so he can't bring that arm back. And at this point, I can either loop it over, face his feet, tighten it up, and finish that way. Or if you drop in, block this here next to his neck, let your chest drive forward, creating that pressure, get the grip, then you bring it back, elbow goes. Difference being for me, I can already tell. When I get here, notice my hands are closer together. As I loop this over his neck, the pressure is much greater. And we're dropping our whole shoulder to the mat. This one, the pressure's there, as deep as I can get it, then I use my chest and I can create more pressure. But that first one, even though I sacrificed going over his head to finish, I get a deeper grip. That deeper grip is, so that's why I say try both. And the feedback coming from the person being choked is big. Let them know, say, oh, that first one, I was already ready to tap. Second one, yeah, but then it got there, or tighten it up a little bit. Get this grip different, kind of feed it. I'll walk around and help you guys out, okay? On 3, 1, 2, 3. So you start out like in a regular side control, and then work to get that grip.
And just one that marginally fits. Nothing serious. Just one thing that.
Now as you come this way, tap it, grind his face against the mat. Like you just want to lay your body flat, like that. Yeah. And then now the arm came out.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
now you're going to go
That's
back
good.
that way, right?
We're just doing it for practice.
You just
Not
stick
the
your
rolls.
thumb in. Yep. And then circle it over. Get his deep gas right there. Bring it all the way over and put your elbow on the mat. Turn your shoulder, face his feet. Yes. See? Elbow didn't even really get to the mat enough. Do it again this time, but this time instead of putting the thumb in over and then circling, shoot your forearm right next to his neck.
This is where I'm trying to.
Yep, and so I have to get this on to my right wrist.
Yep.
Side. So I start right.
So as soon as you get that arm clear, drop your hip. Okay. As soon as that arm comes out, drop your hip. Because then if you don't, he's going to bring it back through. Okay. And then you can either do the loop or the close to the neck. So there. Drive your chest into it. Here. There you go. Nope. Compliments to the chef. That's good. Looks different when she drove her chest in. That's where on that second one, the right-handed first one too. Show me that second one. Because you
Same side you
try to
walk.
stay super tight in their neck.
Lift my hip with this hand.
Put the chest behind it, and then drive it
Grabbing the back
like an
of
arm
the right
triangle.
hand.
Press it in.
Clear your elbow
Then you
and
can
lift
start
the
pulling
back
your elbow if you need to.
like that.
If you get good with that
Reach up,
chest pressure,
up
it's
my
gonna
back.
be there.
And you
It's
grab
gonna
the
be
back
money,
elbow
dude.
like this. Yep. With that hand. Now this one.
Yep.
This one stays behind my back. So now we're gonna circle around to the top of my
Once you get, yeah, clear that arm, so keep it on, and press it back, try to keep this back on the same spot. Don't take that grip out. Once you get that grip,
I can now
right,
my
left hand, keep that
collar
grip.
with
Slide,
my thumb can go on the collar on this side.
slide,
And now I will use my elbow around across the
You're
throat.
gonna want him to get that arm
And then I
right.
pull my
You
elbow
can take your right
laterally
hand, grab
back.
the wrist.
Nice and tight and pull down on that collar at the same time. See if it's always changing behavior.
Go back. Have a good one. Go back.
Keep that collar grip. Keep that collar grip.
There
And
we
this time,
Now.
through this hand, and come in through
Right,
this.
so now you're gonna start walking north south and bring your
This
left
time,
hand underneath
sandpaper
it.
butter knife. Straight
Here,
across.
yes, under that arm. Yes, grab it.
And
You're already
go
clear.
backwards, and so that's
His arm is already there, so drop your left hip to the mat. Drop. Yes, now sit up, whatever grip you get. Now, if you're gonna go for that straight across, put your forearm in his neck first.
Here.
Undo your grip. And I want you to
Elbow up,
get your
my
chest
elbow
behind
up
it.
in that.
Now reach
Yes,
over
now
right.
reach over with that right. Grab the collar.
Now, drive your chest
Circle around
forward like
north,
you're
south, stay
turn
heavy
face
with the
feet.
chest.
Yes. So you
I
never
finish
even
my
have to
hand
reach
out.
over.
Circle
The
back.
chest behind that forearm.
Now that arm is trapped.
Chest behind that forearm is the clutch for this. It's key. You can get your chest in it right in. But don't count on that too much.
Elbow towards the
Lateral pressure in.
Take it to the back.
And start lifting the elbow up.
Inward into the back.
Turn and face their feet. Yeah. Get that. This one, the pressure. I'm sure it works for both, but that pressure behind that forearm locks it in, but it also it
Right arm up. Grab that collar. Beautiful north south. Heavy pressure.
Start walking your legs. All right, drop that hip. Nice.
Circle back.
Hips low, hips low. Let your hips flat on the ground.
Now we can either circle around with the thumb. Over the head if we're coming to the window.
So bring it out. And then all the way out, all the way out. Keep coming. Drop your thumb in like that. You're gonna put your elbow to the mat and face this way. Turn, 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 turn. Start bringing your elbow to me. Yeah. So there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
What do you think?
yeah, just like straight up.
See, right here. Right here.
Yep.
I totally feel like I can throw in those.
Yeah.
As long as you're staying heavy with your shoulders, direction into the mat first, I'm never gonna get that right.
So what do I do in that situation? Am I gonna come up on my knees trying to?
Try plotting downward and because if you keep your hips nice and heavy, get my bridge off. And then
So,
okay.
down, pressing inward. There's less
Go ahead and get that position. Don't squeeze. Just get it right there. Bring it up, keep your grip. Bring it through the shoulder. Maximum. Get that grip here. And I just want you to snug it up. Drop your elbow down. Not pressuring it, but just tight so you feel a connection to it. Now I want you to switch your hips and face. Drive it. That tighter? Okay, let's do this. I didn't do this with right? Yeah. So I can get here, right? Here, right? And I just got this. Right? And then we're gonna drop my elbow to the back. Right? That's pretty tight. And I'm facing that way. I have a grip around the chops. If I had maybe what, a quarter inch more, it was already, I felt that getting tight.
To like start and kind of get that dominant position, your hips feel like in that direction, and then once you get the big rib, switch your hips.
I switched my hips at the very end once I got the choke on. And I wait a second. What's the first instinct of someone who's getting chokes and their body up? What, anytime you're attacking somebody and you're doing like, if I'm doing a mounted collar choke or if I'm doing any kind of choke like that, I'm always expecting them to bridge as a last resort. So I kind of expected and anticipate a bridge, so I'll stay real heavy. Last minute is switch your hips and face them towards the feet. I put the pressure in first as much as I can with my hands and the leverage, and then if they haven't tapped it, I can prepare for a bridge. I get ready for it. If they don't bridge in 2-3 seconds, then I'll switch my hips for that finishing leverage, right? So from here, side control, I'll come here, and I block their fist right as I go around. Notice he kind of curls up a little bit, I swing his hand under, I grab it, and then I stop. I don't cross right away, because if I start to go like this, I roll him up on his side. I don't want that, because it's hard to get him back on that. I'll keep him here, I might reach for this arm, and I'll put some pressure on him. And I'll start to come around, right in. Oh, he cleared, and I walk back. So I cleared it, and as soon as he did, I walk back and now I drop my hip. I come in here, boom. I do this pressure, I'll come in here, I'll put the pressure behind my chest. Sorry. Here, and let's say I start tightening it up for the finish. I wait for the bridge. Like either like, yeah, he try to bridge into me, just drop my leg, let him bridge into me. I'll weather that little leg, make it a little tighter, and then I'll switch, and then finish it out. Real quick, one way, this is a sneaky way to get to it that you might not expect. Here, come here, Garrett. So have you guys ever been in that Kimura situation, right? On your side. Boom. Here. Right? So, if you're getting in this position where he's defending his hands, anytime they're on their side, you can grab the back of their neck, right? The problem with that is, if he's holding his belt and you want to be sneaky and he's like got his belt here, there's some space. You can run your hand through it, right? And now you're here. Wow. And he's gonna hold that belt. He's not, and it don't matter, because guess what? Now that we're here, he's like, oh, I'm getting out of this. So go ahead, Garrett, get out of it. From this position, yes, he drops right into it. And now I'm here. And I slide. I like, the forearm in the neck is good. You just gotta get your good chest pressure. I like to reach it across first, because I can get my hand deep down that collar. When it comes across, it's shutting all of this down. I feel like the forearm, if you put your chest behind it, will shut off one side, and it'll be enough. If you get across the other side, shut both of them. Notice how I went when I grabbed it. I didn't like come around. I just reached in, kind of a hybrid of both. I reached across, but I kept everything low profile on his chest and brought it all in. So if you ever find, and people will fight that. They will, they will fight that Kimura, and they'll get that death grip on their belt. And you have a lot of options from there, bicep slicers, different shoulder locks you can do. But if they're up on their side, you just weave that arm underneath and grab that. And they're gonna think, and expect them to let go of the belt, because they're like, this fool messed up. But then once they're on their back, and you're falling right into a Breadcutter, probably not gonna see it. You might not be able to pull that one off more than a couple times. And they're gonna be like, So, just an added one you guys can play with a little bit later. Any questions? All right, guys, on 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's do some